Hello, welcome back to my channel, the Sunflower Review Friday channel. Today I will be doing the part 6 of the recap of the longer length videos. Also, if you'd like to donate to my channel, it's the $ Sunflower Review with the number 8. Hello, welcome back to my channel, the Sunflower Review Friday channel. Today I'm excited about doing a movie review on Sleepwalkers. And this movie is a horror drama movie. This movie was released April the 10th, 1992. This movie was also written by Stephen King. Stephen King, he also has a role in this movie. He plays the cemetery caretaker in the movie. Also, I would like to go over the meaning of sleepwalkers. The meaning is a person who performs actions such as walking or doing activity while sleeping. So I'm going to give a summary of this movie. It deals with a teenager named Charles and his mom, Mary. And they live in this area. When it first comes on, it's like a beach area. And there's like a lot of different cats that had been hung and killed. But this Charles and his mom, they had like a really weird relationship. They had like a sexual relationship. And what they are vampires and they're shape-shifting species. Him and his mom, but they appear like they're human, but they're able to also disappear and different things like that. But they didn't like cats for some reason because of the cats can see through them. So that's the reason why they didn't like cats. But around their house where they live, it was like a lot of cats that come up around the house. And the mom, Mary, she would always set up traps for the cats. But the reason why they didn't like the cats because they knew the cats can see through them, and the cats was able to see that what they were. Also in the movie, Charles, he liked this teenage girl named Tanya in the movie. Her name was Tanya. And he really liked her and he would spend time stalking her. So his mom wanted her mission for him to get her to bring her back to the house so they can like suck her blood up and take her soul and different things like that. So he was interested in her, and she worked at the movies, like a movie theater where Tanya worked at. And he would, like I said, take time to watch her. Then he finally built up the courage to ask her out on a date. But the strangest thing is with him and Tanya on their first date, she was packing up for them to go on a picnic. But it's kind of funny that they would pick to go to a cemetery. I thought that was really weird for them to pick their date to go to a cemetery, have a picnic at a cemetery. That was weird. And things got really crazy for them there at the cemetery, where he ended up chasing her and everything. She had to end up trying to get away from him because he let himself come out like who he truly was in the movie. Charles, so she was trying to get away from him in the movie. Then the cop, he ended up coming, and Charles ended up getting him too, ended up killing him. He actually had a run in with this particular cop that had a cat named Clovis or Clover or something like that. The cat name was, but the cat couldn't stand Charles. So he had a run in. He ended up like killing the guy, and then the guy had ended up shooting him. She was in the car. So like when he was running behind Tanya in the movie, it's like she was using different objects to mess him up really bad. So he really got messed up really bad, and he got attacked by the cat. So the mom ended up coming to her house to attack them for what they did to her son. So it was like kind of like a war between them and everything. So it also had it like Charles was new to the town. They had it like that, like Charles was new to that town because it was like a teacher, because he had like a sporty car in there, Charles, like a blue sporty car. And one of his teachers followed him and got him pulled over. And then the guy was like, his teacher was like, "You're not who you say you are." And then like Charles ended up breaking his finger, which I think that part is crazy for you to follow somebody to where they're, instead of like letting the people know at the school, like if you know he's not who he say he is, why would you follow him off on like a wooded road? And that's how his hand had got broke, because Charles ended up killing the teacher too, that was like worried about him too. But in the end, they had like the cats end up attacking them, and then the mom got caught on fire. So they end up dying in the end. Another incident with Charles in his car, like I say, he had like a sporty car. And what was so weird about him and his mom too, I said earlier about how they had that sexual relationship, they were able to like disappear and change and different things. So he had a run-in with a police officer. With this particular police officer, he was like speeding, and the police officer was trying to catch up with him. And what he did was change his car, because he had the ability. He had a blue car, and he changed it from a blue car to like a red car, like a red Mustang. He changed it to, so that police officer was not able to like locate him. But when the police officer, that same police officer, was able to see who he was when he saw that car parked there, the blue car parked at the cemetery, when he went to on the date with Tanya. So that's how he was able. Then he saw her running, and that's how it goes into that part. And his cat name was Clovis in the movie, that didn't like Charles. So if I had to rate this movie, I would give this movie 4 stars. You can get it on Prime Video. You also, if you like to collect, you can go to Amazon to collect this movie. Thanks again for watching. Have a good day. Hello, welcome back to my channel, the Sunflower Review Friday channel. Today I will be doing a review on Arachnophobia. This movie was released July the 18th, 1990. This movie is also a horror comedy thriller, and the meaning of it is intense fear of spiders. This movie is also starring Jeff Daniels as Dr. Ross Jennings, and his wife name is Molly Jennings in the movie. But to give a summary of this movie, when it first comes on, they in another country like Venezuela, and they have like this guy, he had got bitten by a spider, but they didn't know it. They just shipped his body back to the country where he was from, and he was from like a small town. And they just put his body into like a wooden, like a little wooden, they made like a wooden casket for him, and just shipped him back to this small town, which Dr. Jennings and his family, they moved to this small town. He actually was a new doctor in the town, but they had like an old doctor there that kind of wanted to like stay there. He didn't want to give up his position until he found out that he really needed him, which I felt like he should have like had him there anyway. Like, even like cut down some of his hours, just to help this guy, new guy coming in, since he was like really, really extremely old, and he had been the doctor in that town for years. So Dr. Ross and his wife moved to this town. Once they moved to this town, this little small town, their house, they had like a little nice small house, but they also had like a barn, and the barn where he had like a wine cellar in there, and it had like a lot of spider webs in there, that they even recognized that it was a lot of spider webs, and it was hatching, and they were like really just and growing, and they were going around the little town, and it was like killing different people, like one by one. Like one man, he had stuck his foot into, actually, when the doctor had something happen with him, he stuck his foot into his shoe and it had bit him. And then also, like a football player, he grabbed his helmet without checking it and it had bit him in the head. So they really didn't know what was going on, but Dr. Ross, he wanted to like do autopsies on them, and they really didn't want him to do that. And the person in the town that really believed in him was a lady by the name of Margaret. She thought it would be a good idea for him to do like a get to know people like party in the neighborhood, since it was a small town where people can like get to know who he was, and that's how he can kind of build clientele up by doing that. But some even happened with Margaret when she was pulling on her lamp. One of the spiders had bit her, so something happened with that. So they finally started to listen to Dr. Ross, and he wanted all their bodies to be exhumed. And then they got to the bottom of it, and they did research, and they went back and called the people, because like he put two and two together of what was going on. So they got the man back there, the one from the other country, got him back there, and they was exhuming, and they found out that these people had been bitten by, a lot of people in the town had been getting bitten by spiders. And it also came to a point where Dr. Ross, because their spiders was just covering his house, it got to a point, and the king and the queen, they was in that cellar, in the wine cellar. So it had got to a point where he had to fight them. But a lot of people, they were calling on this guy up on the right hand side picture, Bug Be Gone, that's the name of his company. They were calling on him to spray, because they were seeing like different spiders too, but I don't think the spray will even help those, because they was deadly. It wouldn't help the spiders. So it did come down to Dr. Ross happened to fight them. He had to kind of like set things on fire, a lot of things. He had to overcome his fears and different things like that to be able to, because he was very, scared of spiders. So he had to overcome that. So he overcame that by like setting the stuff on fire. They had to set the things on fire and everything, the spiders, because it was like a big, it was like covering, it was just covering, the spiders just covering everywhere, like millions and millions and millions of spiders just covering the house. So he had to fight. He ended up, because they was trying to come out of the house, but he ended up falling, and he ended up in the area in the barn. So he had to end up fighting them with fire, and he ended up burning them. And then him and his wife, they end up in the end happened to move back to like a city, like up north, because that's where they were from. So yeah. And when it all happened with the doctor, when the doctor had got bitten in the town, because they was calling, they thought something was wrong with the doctor, because when he met Margaret was going to the former doctor, and they thought that it was just him. It was just a new doctor that was causing things with the people, but it wasn't really him. He was really trying to help them. It was really the spiders that had been taking these people out, but they thought it was him. They thought that he didn't know what he was talking about. But even when that doctor had got bitten, he told his wife to call on Dr. Ross. So yeah, but in the end, they did go back and they went back to the city. So if I had to rate this movie, I would give this movie 4 stars. You can go on Prime Video, Tubi, to collect this movie. You can go on Amazon to collect. Thanks for watching, and don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, and don't forget to support this movie. Have a good day. I just wanted to add this picture in, and this just a picture image from the movie, And this was at the gathering that they had to get to know Dr. Ross in the town. And these people also was a victim of the spiders too. They was at their house and like they was eating the popcorn and the spider had got in their popcorn. So they was victims of the spider. But this was like the gathering that they had for Dr. Ross. This is also just a picture of Dr. Ross around the spider webs. And this is just a picture of the bug be gone guy, the one they will call out to spray when people saw like little different spiders in the house. And he was saying, he will always say when he go on, I doubt it, oh, I doubt it. And the spider could be just right by him and he'll be saying, oh, I doubt if it's this, or I doubt if it's that, until he really recognized in the end when he started to work with Dr. Ross, when they had to take on the spiders and different things and get out of the house and everything, because they had to retract everything too. That's another thing that I forgot to mention, that they had to, once they was getting to the bottom of the spiders, they had to retract, they were trying to track the steps of the guy that he had retract, that him and his wife saw those spider webs anyway, and he had been called out for that too. And he would say he doubted, different people that saw those spiders. This guy would say, oh, I doubt if it was that. I doubt if it's that. And to the end. And to the end when him and he had to help Dr. Ross go in, because Dr. Ross, he retracked his house and everything was there in the cellar, in the wine cellar, all along hatching. So they had to end up fighting for that. So that's all I have for now. Hello, welcome back to my channel, the Sunflower Review Friday channel. Today I'm excited about doing the movie, The Inkwell. This movie is a romance comedy movie. It also was released April the 22nd, 1994, and it's starring a lot of different celebrities, and I put their names in the description box. Before I go into the summary of this movie, I will go into the reference behind the inkwell. It's to beachgoers with black skin, which has said to be glistening in the ink of the hot sun. Okay, to give a summary of this movie, it's about a 16-year-old boy by the name of Drew. He's a very quiet boy. Him and his family, his mom, Brenda, and also his father, Kenny, they go and visit his auntie that lives in Martha's Vineyard. They said it was a part of North Carolina, Southport, Oak Island, where they went to visit his family, because he deals with, he's still recovering from a trauma accident, because he accidentally burnt their house down. So he's kind of like different and he's quiet. While he's there, he meet his cousin, and they showing him around like the beach area, the beautiful beach area. They showing Drew around his cousin Junior, and they're kind of like outgoing, but he's kind of like shy and quiet. So they're just showing him all around the beach and all how they into the girls and different things. But he has his own different personality, Drew, because of the trauma and the different things that he endured. So he got his own personality. He's kind of shy to kind of approach like girls and different things like that. So he's kind of shy. Once he had a crush on this girl by the name of Lauren, and he had a crush on her. So once he did build up the courage to ask her, like to try to talk to her, like she was very rude to him. So that kind of hurt his feelings really bad by her doing that. Drew also liked this lady right here in the picture by the name of Heather. Her name was Heather Lee. And Drew, he kept an eye on her because he knew that her husband also was cheating on her. So he decided that he wanted to do some things to kind of show her what kind of man that she had. So one day, Drew, he was riding his bike and he see her waiting and her husband hadn't picked her up. So he decided that he was going to take her on his bike. He was like, I could take you on my bike. So he took her on a bike. And Lauren, she just so happens to see him with her. And she became a little jealous when she saw that that he dropped Heather off. He She became a little jealous. Lauren did. Then all of a sudden, Lauren had a call and asked about him, and then they got the message to Drew. She wanted to go out with him because that was the only reason why, because she saw him with Heather. So that was the only reason why she asked him to go out. She wanted to ride the bike. So all the while, she was just kind of using him on that date. And he really thought it was something, but it wasn't really nothing. And like, she just had him doing things like, she was saying that, oh, I want a lobster dinner. He was like, he just told her honestly, I can't afford that. So she even made him jump into like the little ocean to get her a lobster dinner. And then she also kind of just played him because she thought that he thought that they was going to go on a second date, but he was waiting on her, and she never came to the door till later. So she kind of broke his heart, and he had been waiting on her for the second date. And then once she cut on the light, he see her in there making out with another guy. So that's how he know he was used by Lauren Kelly in the movie. He was used by her. But, he had a lot of things going on with his family. My opinion about his family, they shouldn't have waited till he gets 16 to kind of talk to him about, different things about life. They also waited till they got there to his cousin's house to take him to go see, talk to someone, because they thought he was like crazy. And they sent him to go speak with Dr. Wade. And Dr. Wade, it's like a dysfunction going on with his family. And, she kind of talked to him, and she was telling him, like, those that understand, they will catch on. The people that they'll catch on, because there really wasn't nothing wrong with him, in my opinion, because everybody has their own personality. Everybody is different. So there's nothing wrong with him, being different and being like quiet, laid back. I think his family, like, it starts from home. Maybe his mom and his dad could kind of talk to him more about life. I feel like he should know more at 16, but they really wasn't communicating. Like, what I mean about communicating, like maybe sitting at a dinner table talking, getting to the bottom of everything. Just like when he was telling him, at 16, his daddy was telling him, things that really he should have been telling him, because if he's there in the home, he could have started like really young. It's just, I feel like they just need to communicate with him more, and he should have been like kind of put up on things more too, because I feel like they really weren't really talking to Drew, his mom and his dad. They weren't really talking to him, because if they were talking to him, he would know, more about this and that. Like, it was like a broke communication, broke dysfunction. But back to the part when he got his heart broke, he went to go see, he exposed Heather's husband. So it's like some funny parts in there where he exposed him for cheating, and then he was gave her she knew that he was cheating, and gave her like the evidence. So after Lauren broke his heart, he went to go see Heather, and they kind of had a relationship together. And then he had to again end up leaving and going back to his family house. And I guess they were going to leave on out. But if I had to rate this movie, I'll give this movie 4 stars. It's a really good movie to check out. Really, really good movie to check out. And this movie was by request, so I enjoyed doing it. It's really good. Thanks again for watching. Have a good day. Hello, welcome back to my channel, the Sunflower Review Friday channel. Today I will be reviewing the soundtrack of the Life movie, and also I will be doing the movie too. Okay, first I will start with the soundtrack, and the soundtrack, it was written and produced by R. Kelly. They also have some songs that Wyclef did too on the soundtrack, but most of the songs, they were written by R. Kelly, and it has like 15 tracks. It was released March the 16th, 1999, and it went platinum by June the 18th, 1999. And it has songs like 25 to Life, It's Life Every Day, Stimulate by Destiny's Child, also Fortunate by Maxwell, Loving You by Sparkle, Every Which Way, It's Gonna Rain by Kelly Price, Discover by Brian McKnight, Follow in the Wind, Trish Yearwood, Why Would You Believe, City High. They have a song with, he did a song with City High, Life with Casey and JoJo, and New Day by Wyclef. And I said this before with Life song. Michael Jackson was thinking about doing the Life song. Well, he was going to do the Life song, but R. Kelly talked him into doing You Are Not Alone. And I think I said that before when I did I did a music review a while back on R. Kelly, and I said that he talked him into doing You Are Not Alone. One thing about R. Kelly know how to match your voices. He's very talented, but I'll get into that later because I haven't rated this soundtrack. If I had to rate this soundtrack, I would give this soundtrack 5 stars. It's a really good. You can also go on Apple Music, iTunes, different places to purchase it. If you like to collect, you can go on Amazon to collect. iTunes, Spotify, Pandora, different places like that to promote this, to collect and purchase. Is all about supporting the artists. So those are the places that you can, get it to support, because it's all about support. But now I want to get a little bit into R. Kelly. It's not anything about his personal life. I won't discuss his personal life or things that he's got going on now. But I will say that R. Kelly is a very talented person. I like how the songs that he write for other people, how he's able to match it with your voice. That's how when they're talented, when they're able to write songs and can put it to match your voice, to match what he's talking about. He has the ability to be able to match their voices, and when he matched their voices with the songs that he write for them, he's able to make the songs go number one. Because I know the song that he wrote for Michael Jackson, You're Not Alone, that went number one. Several other songs that he wrote for artists that went number one. Some of my favorite songs is I Believe I Can Fly, The World's Greatest, If I Could Turn Back the Hands of Time, Down Low, both the remix and the regular version of Down Low. I like that. A lot of his songs that I like. So yes. This movie is a comedy thriller drama movie. It also was released April the 16th, 1999, and it's also starring Eddie Murphy as Rayford Gibson, and it's also starring Martin Lawrence as Clyde Banks in the movie. So in the movie, this movie took place like way back in the day. So they were two friends, and they were wrongly convicted of murder, and then they were sentenced to life in prison. But in the beginning of this movie, the elderly man is telling the story about them two, how it all took place, and he's telling all the stories about, what happened to them while they was in prison, like a lot of different funny stories and all the people that they met while they were in jail. But the story is about them is that the guy was saying, because they thought they were burying them on prison ground, but the guy was telling them, that they really escaped. They planned their death, that they faked their death, so they can live another life. And then they had it like in the end, like as if they were at a baseball stadium. So it was a really good movie. If I had to rate this movie, I would give the movie 4 stars. And if you like to support them, you can go on Prime Video. If you like to collect, go on Amazon to collect. And you can also try Netflix, different places like that to support this movie. It's a really good movie. There's a really good storytelling throughout the movie, because the guy, how he was telling the story, and then how he said that, they was looking at their graves as if, they thought they were there. But the guy, the older guy, he was saying that they really won. And then they had him in the end. So it's a really good storytelling. And that's all I have for now for the soundtrack and the movie. So have a good day. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe to my channel. Hello, welcome back to my channel, the Sunflower Review Friday channel. Today I'm excited about doing a movie review on the movie Deadly Friend. This movie was released October the 10th, 1986. This movie is a horror sci-fi movie. Okay, before I go into the summary of the movie, who the movie is starring, since it's more than one person, it will be in the description box. Okay, to give a summary of this movie is about a boy, a teenager by the name of Paul Conway. And actually, when it first comes on, him and his mom is at a place called Burger Heaven, and they're inside. And this burglar comes and tries to break into their van. And Paul, he builds things, like he built this robot with a chip. And actually, he's considered a genius, because where they're moving to is because of Paul, because he's like considered this genius. So he has his own lab. They set up his own lab to study the brain. And he also built this robot that's with them by the name of BB. And BB just so happens to be in the van when the guy tries to break in it. BB end up choking him. And then the guy just fell back, and BB just locked the doors like nothing happened. Then when his mom and them, Paul and his mom came back to the van, they just driving a little far ways out, because they're moving into a new house. Because the reason why they're moving into this house, because it's opportunity for Paul, being this genius, to work at this lab. And like I said, he built BB, which is in this picture, the robot, with a chip. Like the chip is his brain. So while Paul and his mom move into the house, BB, he immediately attracts a lot of attention. That's when he meets the guy that do the newspaper in the area by the name of Tom. And Tom like talking to him. And also they have a neighbor by the name of Sam. She go by Sam, but her name is Samantha. And she kind of briefly introduced herself too. And she told him that she'll be back, but he noticed like bruises on her. It's because that she was getting abused by her father. Paul and his mom would invite Samantha over for dinner, and like she would kind of really enjoy herself. Then her dad, he would come and get her, so she couldn't really, they knew something was going on with her and her father. They knew that she was getting abused, because they could see the abuses on her. So one day, Paul, Tom, and Samantha, they was out together, and they was talking about this, neighbor that had like a fence around her house, and she had like a combination. And then, Tom was telling Paul that one day he gonna be able to jump across there, and they just thought it was weird that, she had a house like that, because she didn't want anybody on her property, obviously. But they was just, curious and all that stuff. So they was talking and stuff. So one day they tried to get like a ball or something from over there. And she was trying to get it. Then the lady she just started shooting, and then that robot, Paul had cut it off, and it had just came back alive. And once it came back alive, that's when the lady was, because it was on her property, she was just able to shoot the BB, and BB ended up kind of like dying and everything from that. And he took BB's chip. And then one day, when Samantha was around the house, her father, he was always bruising her. He ended up pushing her down the steps, and then she ended up bleeding. They would say she was going to be like brain dead. So him and Tom did a crazy thing. They kind of drugged the mom so they can get her body, which they did. They went and got her body, and once they got her body, Paul, being the genius that he is, he took a chip and took BB's chip and put it into Samantha's brain, because he studied the brain, and they were saying that Samantha was going to be brain dead. So he took BB's chip and put it in her, which was a bad idea in my opinion, but it made her start operating, like a robot. So she wasn't really, once he did that, she wasn't really the same. So she was out of control. So once he did that, and she even went back and got her father, the one that did that to her, she went back and got him. So it kind of became out of control for Paul. By her being that robot, it became out of control. So in my opinion, I feel like Paul shouldn't have never put the chip in her, and he wouldn't have had the problems that he had with her if he would never put the chip in her. But if I had to rate this movie, I would give this movie 4 stars. You can get this movie off Amazon to collect and purchase. You can also watch it on Tubi to support this. Also, you could try Prime Video to support. Thanks again for watching. Have a good day. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Paul also studied artificial intelligence at the local college, and it also shows at like the end of this movie when they end up shooting Samantha and everything. Paul was trying to stop it and everything. And even when they put her body in the freezer, which should have been left alone, he snuck into that. And once he snuck there, she ended up choking him. And she came back as the BB, kind of like that robot. So she came back as him. But it kind of put me in the remind of the Pet Cemetery. How he was taking everybody back to the Pet Cemetery to bring them back. And once he bring them back, they don't be the same. It put me in this movie kind of on that part put me in mind of that. It reminds me of that, how you can think you saving something by bringing it back, but when you bring it back, it don't be the same. So I just thought I'd put that in here about that. You can also go back into my videos and check out the Pet Cemetery, which I did like a couple of years ago. You could just go back and check the Pet Cemetery review out to review it. He also implanted an AI Microsoft chip from a destroyed machine, which was destroyed. BB was the destroyed machine that was destroyed, and then he used it and to put the chip in Samantha. Hello, welcome back to my channel, the Sunflower Review Friday channel. Today I'm excited about doing this request on the movie The Craft. This movie is a fantasy horror movie. It was released May the 3rd, 1996. And this movie is starring 4 different people, but I will put their names in the description. But the first one, her name in the movie was Sarah, Nancy, Bunny, and Rochelle. To give a summary of the movie, when it first comes on, Sarah and her family, they're on a plane. It's her dad and also her stepmother. They're on the plane and they move into this house. So the house is kind of like open because they're moving boxes in. And this weird guy come in and he want to talk to her. He just come in like one of the people off the streets, but he have like a snake with him. And then Sarah, she streams, and her father comes and run the guy out the house. So just like Sarah moving into a new home that they're moving into, she's also new at the school. So she's new at the school, so she kind of has to find her way. So she's sitting at her desk, like kind of daydreaming, but she recognized she's able to hold her pencil up. So so the group of girls at the school, it started with Nancy, Bunny, and Rochelle. They were friends at first, but like she's finding her way around the school, and then this guy, Chris, he kind of tells her, because she's wondering about the girls, because she asked to sit, somewhere, but they was kind of trying to figure her out. But Chris, he was telling her that they were witches, and to stay away from them. He was telling her like different things about each one of the girls, but she still ends up finding her way around and still finding her way talking to the girls. So her first interaction with them, they had went to a store. But before they went to the store, Sarah was watching Chris play. And once he saw them, he tripped and fell because he saw them together. But this was before they went to the little store. And this little store that they went to is for to buy their little stuff that they engage in, like candles, like a little witch store. So they went there, and Sarah, the lady, recognized that Sarah was different from the other girls, because the other girls, they steal in the store to get what they want. And Sarah actually was asking questions about the things that she brought. But yeah, they were witches, and Sarah, she brought her things. That's what a difference between them. And also, the lady at the store recognized that Sarah was different from the other girls. Also, they was engaging in like witch-like activities. They was engaging in, like they were saying, north, south, east, and west for their four members. Like when they went on the field trip, they were, engaging in different things, and they had like different things they wanted to accomplish for, you know, being in the group, different little things that they were dealing with. So the little different things they were dealing with. Okay, we'll start with Bunny. Bunny wanted to use her gifts that she was doing for her scars that she had on her back. And Nancy, which is the ringleader, Nancy, she wanted to use it for to get money. And Sarah wanted to use it for like a love spell to put on this guy. And Rochelle, she wanted to use it for payback for somebody that was mistreating her, um, being a racist towards her. So the girl, like she was being racist towards Rochelle, so Rochelle wanted to use her little gifts for that. Also, Sarah had went on like a little date with Chris in the movie, but it was nothing. And he had started spreading rumors about her. So that's the reason why she put like a love spell on him, and it made him like obsessive with her. It was getting out of hand. And also, like with the girl with the scars, her scars had ended up going away once she started doing little different craft activities, witchcraft activities. Her scars went away. And also Nancy, the ringleader, she ended up winning some money when her father passed. He had her up in like a insurance policy, him and her mother. He had an insurance policy that made her able to get money that way. And Sarah just used hers for that spell that she put on Chris, and Chris became like crazy. And Sarah, she started, was the one that started recognizing that she needed to leave them alone. People had started dying, and they was acting like, oh, it was okay, but it wasn't okay with Sarah, because Sarah, she just, she just had a conscience to know what they were doing was wrong. And plus, the lady had already told them, like, certain things that they do, certain things that they get involved with, that it's going to come back to them. Like, what they put out there is going to come back times 3. So when she discovers that she wants to get away from them, that's when they try to make it like something happened with her family, and they was really trying to run her away. So Sarah, she ended up fighting back, using her powers, the powers that they were trying to use up against her. She ended up overcoming and overtaking it and using it for good. And then the Nancy, the ringleader, she ended up in a crazy house. And the other girls, they came back and they was trying to see, if Sarah still had powers. And Sarah had showed them that she do have powers, still have powers of doing dark work. But Sarah was the only one with conscience. But my opinion on it, I feel like people shouldn't do things like that, because there's consequences behind everything, like your actions, the things that you do, what you put out there, that's what's going to come back to you. And I'm just a firm believer of that. What you put out there, that's what come back. Just like it got out of hand, it's going to be consequences. And even the lady, she even warned them that it's going to be consequences. It's going to come back. What you put out there, especially if you're doing dark work, witchcraft, different things like that. What you put out there, you're going to get it back times 3. Hello, welcome back to my channel, the Sunflower Review Friday channel. Today I'm excited about doing this request on the movie Spun. This movie was released August the 1st, 1997. And this movie is also an action horror movie. And this movie is also starring Michael Jai White as Al Simmons, and also Spawn. Okay, to give a summary of this movie was about Al Simmons, who is a special force agent, and he's always busy doing different things. So he wanted out so he could be able to spend time with his wife, because while he was busy doing different assignments, he would have his best friend named Terry have him look after his wife. And not only that, he had like a little puppy that he would have. But he wanted out, so he was telling his boss that he wanted out. So they decided to set him up. So they sent him on his last assignment. And the last assignment that he did was where he broke into a military base. And he was just, targeting different people for them. And then he didn't agree with what they were trying to do. So which was all a setup anyway. It was all a setup. So the lady ended up shooting him that was working in with the boss. And once she did that, then the boss, he had light a cigarette, and that's how he got burnt. And only thing that he could do once he got burnt, only thing he could do is stream his wife named Wanda, because he knew that they were coming for her too, because they murdered him, and when they murdered him, he got sent to hell. Now that I said that he was burnt and sent to hell, I will just go back to the beginning where the man said this in the beginning of the movie: I kill in the name of good, my soul towards darkness. Now I watch for others like me. Men are the ones who create evil on earth. It is a choice they make to enslave us all to hell. This is the test. So when he was sent to hell, he makes a deal with the devil. And he makes a deal with the devil to return to earth. But the only thing is, when he returns to earth, he's still burnt like how they burnt him, Jessica and Jason, which was his boss. Jason is his boss, that one that set him up. So he will come back to the earth burnt. But he also learned that his wife Wanda had remarried his best friend Terry in the movie. So he was playing stepdad to his daughter. So he found all that out and seeing all of this things that was taking place with everything. He also realized that it's been 5 years since he has passed, and he going around seeing all that. But Jason did end up getting arrested in the end of the movie, and he also Spawn also reveals himself to his wife Wanda and his daughter and also Terry, so they really see who he is at the end. And then he didn't want to stop her happiness, so the reason why he didn't want to stop her happiness, he just decided, made a choice to walk away from everything and accept everything, that he had no place here on earth anymore. And he decided to like use his powers for good to protect the world from the shadows. So that's what he decided to do, and he embraced his new purpose. So I wanted just to give my opinion a little bit on the movie. I feel like it didn't matter how long it had been since he left. Just certain boundaries you shouldn't cross, like her being with his best friend, or that's his best friend Terry, even looking at his wife like that to marry, and even paying stepdaddy to somebody else's child. That's just wicked to me. And then I just feel like certain boundaries you shouldn't cross. It doesn't matter how long it's been. I know she wanna, move on with her life, but you should move on with somebody other than a best friend. And it just go both ways with his friend Terry too, because I would figure that he would have his own wife or something like that. Like, it's just weird that they would end up together, you know, you supposed to be best friends to somebody. It just didn't sit right with me, and that's just my opinion on it. But if I had to also rate this movie, I would give this movie 5 stars. It's a really good movie. That's just my opinion over here, and I would give it 5 stars. And you also can get it off Amazon to purchase if you like to purchase to collect. You could try Prime Video, different places like that to support this movie. And don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe to my channel and share. Have a good day. Hello, welcome back to my channel, the Sunflower Review Friday channel. Today I'm excited about doing the movie The Stepfather. This movie was released January the 23rd, 1987, and this movie is a psychological horror crime movie. Okay, before I go into the summary of the movie, who the movie is starring, since it's more than one person, I will put it in the description box. Okay, now I will go into the summary of the movie. So when this movie first comes on, the movie is about a man named Jerry Blake. It evolves around Jerry Blake. When it first comes on, he's cleaning his hands, washing his hands because his hands have blood on it, and he murdered his family, like cold-blooded murdered them. And he's cleaning up everything. He's changing his identity in the beginning of the movie, cutting his hair because he has like his new look is in the mirror of this picture, but his old look is what he's staring at in the movie. So his next victim is a lady named Susie and her daughter Stephanie. So when he meets Stephanie, he buys Stephanie a puppy, but Stephanie is not really feeling him. She's not feeling him at all because she feel like something is wrong with him. And in the movie, Stephanie, she's getting into a lot of trouble at school. She gets expelled from school, and the reason why, she go talk to a counselor, her counselor, this guy that she go talk to, and she was telling him, he was telling her, she had to let go, what happened, with her real father. But she's telling him that, something is wrong with her stepfather. And so she have to go through different sessions. And in the movie, Jerry, he is a realtor, and he works at a company called American Eagle Realtor. So with him changing everything, changing his identity and different things of that nature, he also gets a job into real estate. And he has a serious problem because like when showing the different houses to people. He want to make sure it's a family, and he dwelled that to Susie. Oh, it's got to be a family. Like Stephanie, she wants to get sent off somewhere because she don't want to be in the house with him. And also they had like a little function at the house, and her mom tells Stephanie to go to the basement to get some ice cream. She goes into the basement and she sees him there going, talking to himself, beating up on things, and then he just plays it off and tells Stephanie, "Oh, you have to let off a couple of let off some steam." He said he had to be around people, and he wants to let off steam. But Stephanie knows that something is wrong. And Stephanie will also tell her friend, like Karen, about different things that was going on up in the house with him. And she also decides to get a picture because at that function, the man was looking at the newspaper. The newspaper is what he got of the person killing the family, which was him. And she was just watching how he react to different things. So she decided that she wants to get like a picture of the man because they never put a picture of the man that killed the family. So he saw what she was doing. He got the mail before she got there, Stephanie, and changed the picture. So she would have seen the picture that it was actually him, but he changed it. So what all the things that she was feeling about him was right. And also her counselor, he was trying to like get in contact with him to like set up a meeting with him, just to talk to him about like some of the things that Stephanie was telling him. So he had to go in as if he was looking at a house, and then he ended up killing the guy too. And then they also had like a detective that wanted to get more into the case with him. And he gets there to get to the case, and he ends up getting him. And then like also in the movie, he also killed her counselor too, and then he comforted her as if he didn't know what was going on. So the guy had problems. He had problems, and his victims was families that he would try to get. He also didn't want Stephanie to have a life because it was like a friend of the family that they knew named Paul, and they just hung out together, Paul and Stephanie, and they knew each other, and he was just kissing her goodnight, and he busts out there. Jerry busts out there. Oh, he was practically undressing her, different things like that. And then the mama had to tell him, she'd been knowing that family and Paul, for before she even know him. But, it just proves how crazy. And then he ended up hitting her mom and towards the end of the movie with the phone because I guess he was searching for another family. So it's just like a thing with him where he looks for vulnerable women that has children's to do it to, like to kill and go from the next person to the next person. So it's kind of like a pattern with him going to different his target is women with children's, so he can come in and like show that he's really crazy, kill them, and then move on to the next. So that's kind of like his moves that he's doing in the movie. If I had to rate this movie, I would give this movie 4 stars. You could go on Prime Videos to check this movie out, to rent. And you can also buy it off Amazon if you like to collect. And thanks for watching. Have a good day. I just wanted to come back with my opinion. My opinion of the movie, I feel like her mom should have listened to Stephanie more. Susie should have listened to her daughter more of the things that she was saying about him in the movie. I think she should have listened more, because if she would listen more, now also I feel like she should be able to do like, I know this was like an older version of the movie, but also she should do like a background check maybe if she didn't have people around your children's and different things like that. But yeah, that's just my opinion. I try to add in my opinions on the movies at the very end. But yeah, I think that's about it. I think she should have listened to her daughter more, then she would know like what happened down in the basement, where her daughter could talk to her, like with him having that episode down there, and her mom could kind of figure out. But I think she was kind of, I guess she's seeing what she want to see. They said sometimes when you be in love with people, you see what you want to see, because he acted out even with the guy that they knew, her friend Paul. So that's what's like clues right there. But that's all I have for now.